Stay tuned. And here we go.
Oh, you.
Amazon and eBay and Etsy. They wouldn't even let me print my material. They wouldn't sell my material. And so Tucker Carlson calls out that Azov battalion. He's full of shit too. Fox News, they're just a bunch of fucking bullshitters. They ain't gonna let Tucker Carlson make the money he make and tell the truth. He's there just to get people in their emotions. Don't trust anybody with a Fox News title. Don't trust anybody with an MSNBC title. They're all full of shit. They have an agenda to divide the American people while they take over. They're hunting Russian citizens for squashing Hitler. Exactly. They're hunting Russian citizens for squashing Hitler. Now, here's the fucked up part. What it was they said. This is what they said that tripped me out, how they trying to downplay this. What the right-wing media is doing right now is no worse than what Whoopi Goldberg did when she downplayed the tragedies of the Jewish people in Germany. She downplayed their tragedy. And now, you know what right-wing media is doing nowadays? They're doing the same thing to the Russians. A lot of Russians were killed trying to defeat Hitler. And now, they're wreaking havoc. See, those Nazis and those Nazi sympathizers, they don't like Russia because Russia took Hitler out of the bullshit. You know, Hitler tried to, come up against Russia. The United States was trying to fight on two fronts. Hitler tore the fuck up out of Europe. Hitler was like, okay, let me expand over into Russia. And he made a grave mistake because that's what lost World War II for him. So what's wrong with Putin protecting his country from the element that could have destroyed his country? It's kind of like us as melanated people. We don't want to repeat history. We don't want to repeat history, right? So we don't want to repeat history of being strung up in trees and somebody just comes along and say, oh man, it ain't nothing. Y'all just living in the past. You would get pissed off. So damn right, Putin's got a right to be pissed off. Oh, Antifa has always been down with them. That's why they were out there marching with Black Lives Matter. If you ever notice, who's the ones who started all the bullshit in the Black Lives Matter protest? Who turned those protests violent? So when the cops came down cracking heads, they was making sure they was cracking, those black people were getting their heads cracked in these protests. That's what they did it for. The Ukraine was fighting Russia. The U.S. just carried out a drone strike in Somalia. And you know, the fucked up part is, you know, they're like, well, what if Putin goes into these other countries and try to raid them? Nah, Putin went for Ukraine. He could have easily went for Poland. He could have easily went for Poland. And the funny part is, Ukraine somewhat was getting along with Russia before NATO came in putting all that shit in their ear. And who's the driving force of NATO right now? The United States. And what are we seeing in the United States? We saw a regime take place in the form of a humanitarian effort called Black Lives Matter. A lot of you out there were sleeping with your enemy, marching with your enemy, telling you that they love you, while they were out there throwing bricks, tearing up businesses in your community, left your community in shambles, got you to vote for your enemy, love your enemy, celebrate when your enemy became president, and now look at you. You're still there with your fucking hand out. Everybody got to eat but you. Everybody got to eat but you. You can tell a tree by the fruit that it bears, right? And all of that marching and all of that sacrifice and all of that emotion that you went through, thinking that this presidency was going to be on your side, look at what happened. You still are not getting shit. The only shit you're getting is shitted on. So here's a little fun fact for you. Being that you're politically dumb, a lot of you, and don't read, and you can be swayed by fucking campaign commercials because you don't do your research. When was the last time that the United States orchestrated a war against a superpower? See, a lot of you Biden supporters, or used to be Biden supporters, you guys are waking up. That's a good thing. You're waking the fuck up. Which is why Biden is mixing up this war with the United States. What's up, Karina? What's up? What's up? What's going on, Karstar? Mickey, how you feel this war with the Russian economy with the sanctions? I'm with Putin. I am too. I'm with Putin on this one. Now this is where it gets crazy. A lot of you guys are waking up. A lot of you black people were under that spell and you waking up, and I'm glad. I want a damn hot wire or fucking short circuit that computer chip that's in your brain that they implanted in there that's got you thinking that they're on your side. I want a short circuit that computer chip in there. The reason why I say that is Biden is mixing this war up. And the last time we as a people were on code as melanated people in America, Vietnam was started by the Democrats to draft you and send your ass off the war. That Vietnam War, was an extinguishment of the Black Power movement in America as we know it. Black men were sent off the war on a suicide mission. That was white people too, but it didn't affect their community as much as it affected ours. Some black men came home in body bags. Others were too broken to continue to fight in America to ask for their tangibles. They came back to a war-torn community, poverty, being laid off of their jobs. The 1970s, when a Republican stopped the Vietnam War because he was like, this is bullshit. All of these prolific leaders that we had in the 1960s had been assassinated by that time. The community was worse off before the whole civil rights struggle started. The families were broken up. Jim Crow Joe said that this country was going to be minority white by the year 2024, about the year 2040, right? With them pushing abortion and starting this conflict, we're seeing what will happen to the rest of the black community. See, at least back in the 1960s, we had a sense of unity in our communities. We suffer a blow as this suicide mission is coming to see through in the Ukraine. If we suffer that blow, that will be the final nail in the coffin for us as melanated Americans. If they start a draft, do you think that they'll give an account that black males are only 7% of our dwindling population of 13% in this nation? You think they're going to give an account of that? No. They want us out anyway. They've been trying to take us out since after the Civil War. With the unbridled attacks, the way that they came down on us here in America, they've been trying to send us to fucking Africa where we wasn't from. They've been trying to take us out since then. And you think they're going to give an account if they start a draft that we only got 7% of males in this country? Hell no. They want that. They want to eliminate us. Those Democrats are at war with you, but y'all stupid motherfuckers that are still on that Democratic bandwagon think that they're your friends.
I think it's more rhetoric than it is going to be actual nuclear war. He's basically saying
it's to distract the United States military from when China starts
acting. If NATO and America want to get deeper involved, then they have to deal with his nuclear.
And a lot of you woke pro-black Democrats,
I don't know if it's actually going to happen.
You should take an account of who Biden is in bed with in the Ukraine. And I've talked about this before today. I've talked about this before on several videos before. You're helping a white supremacist regime take power. With all of this talk about white supremacy that you guys like to throw out there, you fucking Google-lutionaries, let me give you something to Google. Since you like to get on Google and spit these facts and call yourself arguing and debating with other black people, talking about, I'm going to win this debate, because the only motherfucking thing you can win besides a staged accident is a fucking shit show of a debate that you guys like to have online. I want to debate you. I want to debate you. Motherfucker, do you know what a debate is? Half of y'all motherfuckers coming to me talking about you want a debate don't even have a fucking topic. You stupid motherfuckers. You think I want to spend my time sitting around arguing with you? Listen, I pay good money for my divorces. I'm twice divorced. I am an asshole, I admit it. I have a short tolerance for stupidity. I pay good money so I don't have to argue with stupid motherfuckers. Why the fuck do you think I'm gonna come online and argue with you stupid motherfuckers for free? Said what the fuck I said. Cause a lot of you talking about that debate me shit, you're stupid. There's no other word for you. Talking to you is like talking to a brick wall. And the only knowledge and the only reading you ever do is when you want to Google some shit. So let's Google some shit, man. Let's Google this. Google this Azov Battalion. And then get back with me about white supremacy. Google these motherfuckers here. Google these motherfuckers here. Google these motherfuckers here. Google these motherfuckers here. These motherfuckers are the same motherfuckers that do this.
Who's there?
These motherfuckers are the same motherfuckers that treat you like this. I'm gonna give you a second to read that. These motherfuckers are the same ones who y'all motherfuckers stood behind. Since y'all want to talk about Googling debates and shit, because y'all motherfuckers don't have a library card, we know you don't read. We know you don't research. But even after pointing this out to a sorry lot of you, you'll still go and blindly give them Democrats your vote. You'll still go and blindly give them Democrats your vote. You're easily hypnotized. You guys were out there calling patriots Nazis when the presidency, this fucking presidency, have you fighting for the Nazis. And the only empowerment that you got is fucking cancel culture. Whoop-de-dang do. You can mass report somebody's videos and get them canceled. And you're working in their favor when you do that as well. Because one day when you want your voice to be heard, unless you got a contract working for some record company, your voice will not be heard. They know they don't have to pay you anything but attention to get you to play the internet police. Used to, they would have to pay people to be train wrecks on daytime TV. Now they could get a sorry lot of you to do it for free because they know how many of you are out there starving for attention and will say and do any fucking thing to get likes, shares, cash apps, and super chats. They know you. They're making sure that they get the funding for this war as well. So while you're sitting there talking about the likes, the shares, the super chats, and the fucking cash apps, and the GoFundMes that you guys like to get a hold of, guess what? They're taxing the shit out of everything now. They're making sure they pay for this war, and, you know, they're taxing everything out from cryptocurrency to online payments. Shit, at least when y'all motherfuckers was out there making those damn Facebook stars and fucking, what is that other shit? The GoFundMes, the Patreon, the super chats, the fucking online, you know, shit. At least Donald Trump was letting you talk about him for free. For free. Donald Trump was letting you talk shit about him. This president is charging you to talk shit about Donald Trump and spew your woke bullshit online. And you guys better be fucking careful taking all that money that you're making with your fake wokeness. Because if you have a real daytime job outside of YouTube, and you think this is going to supplement your income, you might fuck around and throw yourself in a different tax bracket and end up owing instead of getting anything back. Yeah, real talk. What's going on, Lisa D? Welcome to the room. Real life indeed, the Stone War, to do what we say. Let's see, Real Life says, remember the Russian propaganda pushed in the 60s? In America, the Americans complained about North Korea and Iran schools. We did an air raid practice in school to scare us from Russia. Exactly. And when I was growing up, people were always talking about the Russians are going to take us over one day. And the Russians just don't want to be fucking bothered. Ricky, what's good? I had one of my close friends getting in his feelings about me putting up a timeline of wars happening in administrations in the past, in the present, the past, making it about race in the USA and Trump. Because they are stupid. They're fucking stupid, man. When people sit around and talk about Trump still yet, now Trump was an asshole. Now, I guess that's why I got along with Trump so well. Trump was an asshole. But Trump was an asshole that got shit done. And I said this from day one. Trump is like that guy you work with that you can't get along with, but you can't fire the son of a bitch, because if you fire him, you know that it's going to be hell trying to find somebody to replace somebody that's going to work that fucking hard for you. Real talk. So a lot of you guys was like clapping and happy-go-lucky that they took fucking, patriotic gear offline, right? But let me tell you something. This is weird. Because I still find this weird up until right now. Let's see here. Azov Battalion. Merchandise. Wow, check this out, y'all. You can still buy that shit online. I showed it to you once. I'm going to show it to you again. Let me share my screen with you, good people. Why the fuck can I buy this kind of bullshit online, especially when we know what it stands for? Why were all of these patriotic apps taken offline? All this patriotic clothing taken offline where you can't purchase it. But you can sit up here and buy some fucking Hitler shit online. Azov Battalion. Yeah, you can buy this shit. Oh, look at what popped up. Ghost of Kiev, Ghost of Kiev, Ukrainian flag. I stand with Ukraine banner support. Wow, why did that show up when I pulled this page up? Y'all seen that for yourselves just now. Let's see where else you can buy this shit. So if anybody ever see this shit, man, do y'all see the black folks wearing this shit? Now, I just showed you some white models. Y'all see the black people there supporting this? This right here is some straight up Nazi shit. Why do they got that for sale online? Why do they got that for sale online? Let's see here. What else? I mean, shit, it goes on and on.
The story is told of a famous chess champion who was on vacation in Europe, and he loved art, so he decided while on vacation he would visit a number of art galleries in Europe. He came to one particular art gallery and began to peruse it and ran across a painting that both mesmerized and stupefied him. It was a painting of a chess game in progress. On one side of the chessboard was a painting of the devil. And the devil was laughing and full of joy and gaiety and hilarity, rocking back in his chair just in great joy. On the other side of the chessboard was a young man terrified. Tears were running down his face, sweat pouring down his forehead. He was biting his nails. It became clear what the painting was all about when the chess champion read above the painting the title. It was simply called Checkmate. The devil was about to make the final move to win this young man's soul.
Hey guys, welcome to Forward. We're a new type of doctor's office that's
make the final move to win this young man's soul. He was hilarious and the young man was terrified. Well, the chess champion thought this was an intriguing picture. But then he got really interested in it, and he stared at it for a long time. Actually, hours he stared at it. After a number of hours staring at the painting, the chess champion began to smile. He found the proprietor of the gallery and said, "Sir, would you happen to have a chessboard here?" They looked around, and they found a chessboard, and he laid the chessboard out at the base of the painting precisely as they were in the painting itself. He looked down at his own chessboard, then he looked up at the painting. He looked down at his own chessboard, then he looked up at the painting. He looked down at his own chessboard. He looked back up at the painting, and then he began to laugh. sure wish you could hear me now, because I got good news. It only looks like the devil's winning, because there is still one move left on the board, and you get to make it. Your enemy has miscalculated something. I'm a chess champion, and I know this game. I got some good news. You can wipe that sweat off your forehead, dry your weeping eyes, and take your fingers out of your mouth. Because you, not he, gets to make the final move. A lot of us have been duped into thinking that the devil is winning. We've been duped into thinking that he and not us get to make the final move. We've been duped into thinking he's running the show, calling the shots, and we are puppets on his string. We've been duped into thinking that he is the final decision maker about our joy, our happiness, our well-being, our spirituality, and all the other elements that make life work, because he seems to be running the show. Well, I came to you with some good news today. Wipe the sweat off your forehead, dry your weeping eyes, and take those jittering fingers out of your clashing teeth, because you, not he, gets to make the final move. Now, to understand that, you have to understand the history of the conflict that we call spiritual warfare. You see, God made the first move when he created angels. Lucifer reacted negatively to that move and rebelled against God. Took 1/3 of angels with him. God countered that move by creating man in his own image and in the lower angels. Satan rebelled against that move by getting Adam and Eve to turn the earth over to his control. But God countered that move by providing a redemptive covering for Adam and Eve so that they could return back to fellowship with God. Of course, Satan tried to counter that move by getting Cain to kill Abel in order to cut off the godly line. Well, that's when God countered that move through the birth of Seth, so that men began to call on the name of the Lord again. Of course, that's when Satan tried to counter that move through the birth of Nimrod, who built the civilizations of Babylon and Assyria. They gathered at the Tower of Babel to build a religion in defiance of God. Of course, that's when God countered that move by going to the Ur of the Chaldees, finding a man named Abraham, and saying, I'm going to create my own nation that will obey. Of course, that's when Satan countered that move by getting them trapped into Egypt so that Pharaoh would not let them go. But then God countered that move by going to Moses in Midian and telling him to go tell Pharaoh, I said, let my people go. And the whole Old Testament is move, counter move, move, counter move, move, counter move, move, counter move, but we're not sure who win in this game. You come to the end of the Old Testament, there are 400 silent years between the end of the Old Testament and the beginning of the New Testament. Both sides are just staring at the board. But when the New Testament opens up, so-and-so begot so-and-so, begot so-and-so, begot so-and-so, begot so-and-so, then you get to Matthew chapter 1, verse 16, who begot Joseph, who was married to Mary, by whom was born Jesus Christ. Up until this time, God would find a man and use a man. When the New Testament opens up, God says, I'm tired of this mess. Let me come on down here and take care of this mama myself. So God became a man in the person of Jesus Christ. Satan tried to counter that move by tempting him in the wilderness. Jesus overcame that through the use of the word of God. Then he made his final move by getting Jesus Christ nailed to a cross to forever get rid of this agent of God. But that's when God made the final move. Because early on Easter Sunday morning, a little while before day, the grave was open. Jesus Christ arose, and the final move was made. The move he didn't bank on. And that move is your move. No matter what's going on in your world, that move, the accomplishment of the cross and the resurrection was God's final move. That is your move for victory. Now, I don't know what's going on in your world, your life, your struggles, your mind. No matter what it is, I'm going to share with you today and throughout this series how you use the final move. In the passage that we are introducing this with today, finally, brethren, chapter 6, verse 10, be strong in the Lord and the strength of his might. Put on here's our series, the full armor of God, so that you may be able to stand firm against the schemes of the devil. Here it is. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers